Been ranching long. Got a name. Look, Cowboy, I know you wanted Tisa Peak to interview you, but she is busy today. You gotta talk to me, all right? Oh, hi. Welcome to Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. I'm Wild Bill, the media director here at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame in historic Medora. Not sure who this guy is. He's not saying too much. It's going to be a tough interview, but by golly, I'll work on him. Hey, I sure hope that you've been enjoying NDRA action here on Beck TV this summer. Next stop, we're in Wing, North Dakota in mid-July for the Wing Rodeo. We have a date in August here in historic Medora. We have dates all summer long, right up to the state finals in Watford City coming up in September. North Dakota Rodeo Association action right here on Beck TV all summer long. Well, coming up on the program today, Tisa Peak is going to introduce you to a young barrel racer from Carrington, North Dakota, and her name is Josie Clark. And has Josie ever got a good-looking horse that's performing well? We've got some great footage of some of her fantastic runs and some great photographs, too. You're going to enjoy Tisa's conversation with Josie coming up here on Dakota Cowboy. Later, I'm going to introduce you to somebody that you probably already know. His name is Merrill Pepcorn. If that name rings a bell, that means you must listen to Prairie Public Radio. Did you know that Merrill started the very first radio program for the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame many, many years ago? And he's got some great things to share with us, and he's going to do just that coming up on Dakota Cowboy. And later we have our North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week. This week, that honor goes to the Lansford Ghost Riders, and they were just inducted a couple of weeks ago here in historic Medora. And we also have the Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week coming up as well. So call up the neighbors, tell them to turn on Beck TV because Dakota Cowboy started 2 minutes ago here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. You got anything at all you want to say? We're good to go.
Man has worked in sync with Mother Nature since the beginning of time. Relying on her to provide sufficient moisture every growing season is a roll of the dice. You can now insure your pastures and rangelands with Rainfall Index policy available from Chamely Financial. This will give you the peace of mind by knowing you will be protected from the adverse effects of Mother Nature. Contact Chamely Financial today, 719-338-3428, or go to chamelyfinancial.com.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Unique gifts, an assortment of beautiful jewelry, and much more can be found at Dakota Territory Jewelry and Gifts in Medora. Montana silver necklaces and earrings, Black Hills gold and sterling silver jewelry, many Native American made pieces too, and a selection of art pieces. They carry healthy products made right here in North Dakota, and to satisfy your sweet tooth, fall in love with the best fudge around and the freshest taffy made right in the store. Buy it by the pound in a variety of flavors. Dakota Territory Jewelry and Gifts in historic Medora. Wild Bill here for Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic of Dickinson. Recently, I tore my meniscus, and after an MRI, doctors gave me 3 options: prescription meds, reoccurring injections, or surgery, which wasn't guaranteed to rid me of the pain. Then someone suggested I try soft wave therapy. Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic of Dickinson are skilled in this innovative treatment. After a few treatments, my pain went from an 8 down to a 1. See if soft wave therapy is right for you. Contact Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic today.
Whether you have guns, ammo, vehicles, toys, or collectibles, consign with Last Chance Auction and we can help put money in your pocket. Give us a call at 334-SOLD or visit lastchancesd.com for upcoming auctions.
Hi, Rich from Law Motors. 45 years ago, Dad started selling cars. 35 years ago, I started selling cars. And 15 years ago, Tyler started selling cars.
And I'm Mom, and I told all of them, just be nice.
JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision has built a reputation as one of the most reputable and reliable body shops in this region. With nearly 30 years in business, customers count on JR's to get it done right the first time. They'll work with your insurance company to smoothen the process. From their 40-foot frame straightening machine, Sickens paint, and the latest technology in the repair industry, they're the only name you need to know. For auto, semi, RV, and trailer repair, it's JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision, North Dickinson. Call 701-483-6778. JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision.
Welcome to Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. I am here in the heart of Cheyenne River Country. We are in McLeod, North Dakota at the NDRA Rodeo, and I'm with Josie Clark, longtime North Dakota barrel racer. Josie, do you want to share your story with us and maybe a little bit about the horses that you've brought along your journey, excuse me?
Yeah, so I've been rodeoing since I was like 8 years old, and I started in the Rough Rider circuit. I've made finals multiple times. I'd like to thank my horse Chex for that, and my parents, like, so much.
And Chex is a mare, right?
Yes.
And she brought how many, tons of buckles, titles?
Yes, she's taken my sister to high school nationals. She's taken me to NDRA finals. She won my money on my permit. She's taken me to the Rough Rider finals probably close to 10 times, and I've been to the NDRA finals about 7 times with her. And I wish I would have done more pro rodeos with her, but...
Hey, you got another horse coming, don't you?
Yeah.
Another one coming along, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chex, what was one of her biggest qualities that made her a winner, along with yourself? Was it the team?
We made a great team. She was super easy to ride, and she always gave 110%, and she wasn't a hard keeper. Like, she would do anything, even if she was like in a little bit of pain, or she gave it her all every single time.
And that's huge with rodeo horses. Do you agree?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so going on the rodeo trail and growing up through rodeos in North Dakota, now you're on your own. You work a lot of jobs just to go on the weekend. What can you tell just the public what it takes to rodeo? I mean, the resources and the jobs involved.
So it's nice to have jobs that are super lenient, that'll let me get off for my scheduled events. I do work other jobs just for extra money.
Side gigs?
Yep, just so I can go, so I have extra money for fuel, entry fees, vet, whatever. And like, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I work my butt off, but I actually, I would tell everyone to give everything they got every time, because it's so worth it.
To the rodeo life.
Yeah.
The rodeo life.
And it's worth the time. Like, even though I work 10 hours a day, I still go home and I'll ride, and I'll be out at the farm for 4 hours, and I'll get to bed at midnight some nights, but it is what it is.
And that's what makes you happy.
Yeah.
North Dakota grown. So you grew up, where was it? Jamestown. East of Jamestown?
Carrington.
Carrington. Carrington race, so you're in ag country. How do you think that's helped your horses stay legged up? I mean, sometimes obviously it's hard, the crops are on the field, but you have a lot of open country to ride in.
Right, so I always love the springtime before they plant. And I can like just ride in the open range there. And then I love fall when they take the crops off, because I can get my horse out and get him moving out again. Mm-hmm. And it helps in the winter, because sometimes I actually ride in the snow, in the fields in the winter, just so like they learn to pick up their legs and move more. But otherwise I ride down the gravel road.
And you work hard all winter just so you can rodeo all summer in North Dakota.
Yeah.
So that special mare Chex, you got some colts out of her, didn't you?
Yes, we have one, and he's 4.
So you're up and coming.
Mm-hmm. And we have a baby coming.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, what's this new horse you're hauling?
Annie. She's not really new, but I thought I would come back, bring myself down a level, because I've been struggling. And I'm gonna get it figured out with her, because I think she's pro quality, and that's initially what I want out of my prospects.
That's your dream, to hit the PRCA level and venture out.
Yep.
Which there's plenty in North Dakota. I mean, what can you say about the rodeos across our state?
I'd say they're very family orientated. And I love going just to like barrel race, but I love going to see my friends and meet new people. And it's always a new experience, whether the ground is wet or it's hard as a rock or you're on a different horse. It's an experience in itself. So
yeah, every year is a new challenge, isn't it? And you family orientated, you mentioned that, and I've noticed there hasn't been a rodeo I don't think I've ever seen you without your mom, and most of the time your sister.
Yeah.
So tell me about your mom's integral part of your barrel racing.
She plays a huge part, like absolutely couldn't do it without her. She helps buy hay, the feed, she helps with vet bills, she knows how to fix barrel racing problems, she can pick up on things that me and my sister can't, and so I really look up to her, and I take a lot of her advice the majority of the time on what I need to do to work on with my pattern.
She's just the eye behind the scenes. She catches everything.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It is a family. It takes a team. It takes a village to keep these horses going down the road. Now, I'm just going to ask you, what's one of the toughest jobs that you have had to work to make money to be a barrel racer?
Working at the elevator.
The elevator?
Yeah.
That was hard? A challenge?
It challenged me emotionally and my mentality. Like, sometimes I work an entire day till midnight, and I'm like, then we have to go in the next day at like 5 in the morning to just do a train. And I'm like, okay, money. I think about the money because this is what I can use for my horses when summer comes, and that's initially what I think.
I think that's common across rodeo people and barrel racers. They pick careers that will justify their sport or help subsidize their sport, shall I say. So you've also worked in a butcher shop, you've cleaned houses. I mean, Josie is just a hardworking cowgirl, and it shows on your horses.
Thank you.
That is for sure. So we are on the rodeo trail, and we'll be back with more Dakota Cowboy on Beck TV.
Improve your home or business with services from Zaka Remodeling and Construction. Whether you need windows or doors repaired, replaced, or installed for your residential or commercial property, Zaka Remodeling and Construction can help. Our local and family-owned business offers flexible hours and over 10 years of experience in the industry. We are your local Pella expert. Pella is rated #1 in highest quality and innovation by homeowners across the country. Feel confident when you choose Pella and Zaka Remodeling. Contact us today for a free estimate. Zaka Remodeling and Construction.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
The dictionary defines community as a group of people living in the same place or sharing common goals. Community is the largest part of our name, and we make it the largest part of our business. We support our local schools, organizations, youth programs, and local events from Bowman to Bismarck because we all share a common goal to better the quality of life in our communities. Come bank with us at Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your real community bank.
Medora Boot and Western Wear open year-round in historic Medora. You'll find quality items for cowboys and cowgirls of all ages. Medora Boot and Western Wear has over 1,500 pair of boots on hand at all times. New this year, the R. Watson brand of boot, featuring an all-leather heel, riveted shank, and a 10-iron leather sole. Jeans, shirts, hats, caps, and more, and customer service is #1. Medora Boot and Western Wear in historic Medora.
Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Hello and welcome to the MHA Interpretive Center. It's the perfect stop along the Lewis and Clark Trail and the cultural hub of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation. Nestled along the shores of Lake Sacagawea in Newtown, North Dakota, 1 mile west of the Four Bears Casino. You can enjoy amphitheater performances, art exhibitions, and educational workshops utilizing our Living Cultural Center. Enjoy some coffee, browse our gift shop, and learn about the original people of this land. Learn more at mhanation.com/interpretive center.
It's Dakota Cowboy on Beck TV, presented to you each and every week by our great friends at Dakota Community Bank and Trust. We are in arguably, one of the most gorgeous settings that we've ever been a part of, and we're here with a great friend, Merrill Pepcorn. It is so good to see you, my friend.
Wild Bill Pelinak, I would challenge you that there's no argument. This is the best setting for an interview like we're doing here today.
I think you're absolutely right. You're
unarguably the best.
A fixture of radio in North Dakota. You're a legend. You're an icon. You're a mutual respect, you know, from me to you. How long have you been with Prairie?
Well, you know, there's something to be said for longevity in a career. You know, you're around long enough and people start recognizing you by your voice.
Right.
And you're familiar with that. We do a little video and such here and there as well. But was full-time with Prairie Public for 13 years before I resigned my full-time position. And now I'm part-time, do a lot of volunteer work and do some part-time work and work in conjunction with Prairie Public on various film projects as well. Okay, so I suppose altogether we're looking at about 22 years.
What did you do prior to that?
Well, ever since I was in college, I shouldn't tell this, but graduated in 1974, I've always had a band, or been in a band, not the Merrill Pepcorn band, but been working with good working musicians, smart guys, and so money has always been generated by my music.
Oh, really?
And currently we have a 4-piece band called the Radio Stars Band, and we do a couple of tours in western North Dakota. 2 of my guys live in St. Paul.
Okay.
That's in Minnesota, you know. And the other 2 of us live in Fargo. But twice a year I arrange these either 4 or 5 day tours out in western North Dakota. You know, just like it is in most places, the further away from home you get, the more you're appreciated.
You know, you talked about generating income from your music.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman that's close to the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, Sid Strome. Maybe you know him.
I know the name. I don't know him personally.
He has always stated that he never wanted to make any money with his music, and so far he's succeeded.
We don't make a lot, but it's always nice to get a little at the end of the week. The good thing is that, you know, at this stage of my career, I'm not playing in a bar band anymore. The first, 8, 10, 12 years were pretty much 6-night-a-week bar band stuff. At that rate, if you left the bar, if you ran a tab and you left the bar at the end of the week and you didn't owe the bar money, you'd call that a success.
That's successful,
yes.
Yes,
tab you were running for the week. So
I know you've
survived that.
I know that you've done a lot of different content, and I would have to say the common denominator of your content has been people of North Dakota. Let's take that another step. You were there at the early days of the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. You started a radio program. Talk about the inspiration for that and what led you to that, and some of the content that you shared with your listeners.
That's fantastic. Thanks for asking that, because those are great memories. It was a great project. Before the radio program, which we had syndicated on several stations around North Dakota, I became familiar with the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame because I was working for a group in Fargo, SNS Promotional Group, which had a branch called Commemorative Firearms. And it was a tough job, kind of. It was a strict commission job. And I am not a firearms aficionado. I mean, I'm not a hunter. I wouldn't mind being one,
right?
But I know a lot of folks who are, and I've always been interested in the Western way of life. So you had to come up with your own ideas, your own projects for commemorative firearms. And so I came across an article in the paper about the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame when I was working for commemorative firearms. And I go, well, here's a logical pairing. A Winchester 33, you know, the stock is etched and engraved, and the barrel is either gold-plated or silver-plated, and then with etching on there, with various Hall of Fame information, you know, when it was founded, so on. So we produced a series of 50 guns to sell, and then the Hall of Fame made a couple of $100 on each gun, and I made a couple of $100 on each gun, and that was when I really got into the Hall of Fame, was that piece, because there I traveled all across the state, kind of a door-to-door rifle salesman, basically, and met a lot, and I had a list to work on. That was the trustees. And there's trustees in every part of the state. So, like a lot of my radio work has taken me across the state in various ways, so did this Hall of Fame gun. And that was a great way to meet a lot of people in the Cowboy Hall of Fame, affiliated with the Cowboy Hall of Fame, and learn a lot about it.
We have given away a lot of rifles crafted by commemorative firearms.
Yes, right.
In our raffle over the years. Is it safe to say that it was you that created the handshake between the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame and commemorative firearms of Fargo?
Correct. Me and Phil Baird was the president of the board at the time.
Sure.
He drew up this memorandum of understanding, MOU, and we took it from there.
Wow.
And of course, then when I quit, I quit SNS Promotional Group, Commemorative Firearms, to get my radio job with Prairie Public. But yeah, that was the start, and it was you know, with the Noons. Evelyn Noon stands out among those originals. Darrell Dorgan, of course, was the executive director at the time, the perfect man in the place for that time.
Exactly,
you know?
and he is on a short list of people that we have to interview here on Dakota Cowboy, and I'm looking forward to going to his home. I believe Mission, South Dakota is where he's at now, and talking to Phil about the early days of the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. The content for the
Hall of Fame moment, North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame moment?
Yes.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. But you know, like people like you and I, Bill, like you've worked for radio stations, I think. Yeah, that's where I first heard of you. You were working for a station in Dickinson, I think. Was it, which one, KLTC?
It was, there was their FM, KCAD, and we were at the first inductions, and we carried them live on the radio. Yes.
And so that's been, you know, several years now. That's when we became acquainted through radio.
August 1st, 1998, the very first induction ceremony, I think, is where
and of course, for Prairie Public, I voiced this program called Dakota Datebook. Over the years, we probably had 20 or 30 people who write these short 2.5, maybe 3-minute stories about North Dakota. North Dakotans could be business, cowboys, arts and entertainment, any accomplishment, great or small, world's largest hamburger in Rutland, North Dakota, whatever it might be. So I've been voicing that program for, I think, a total of about 20 years now altogether. And I was already doing that, and then I got involved with this idea for the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Let's do this sort of format, tell an interesting story about a particular inductee into the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, and write up a nice little, well, this was a 1-minute thing, North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame moment, and came up with stories about Alvin Nelson, the Teschers, Dean Armstrong, you name them, some of the modern cowboys, so to speak. Brad Germanson, now retired, but still more modern era than the famous six-pack, you know. Just did a short story, went out and sold it to various sponsors, including Cloverdale.
Sure.
I think Gate City Bank was my home bank in Fargo, and you know, you got to have sponsors for those sorts of things, and so that's how the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Moment radio series started. And I know then that you and perhaps others have not really built on that, but then gone on to produce similar programs that the public loves. The public loves hearing about the Western way of life, and you know, people like me, I like coming out here and just being in it.
Yeah,
God's great creation out here in Western North
never
Dakota.
Gets old. Never.
I run into people. Yeah, here we are. You know,
there's bully pulpit way out there.
Yeah, it's you know, you know what I particularly like about this area is the draws, the little canyons, the little valleys down that weave their way in between the hills, you know.
If you stare at them long enough, you might see a little familiar face poking out, a whitetail or a mule deer buck or a doe.
Yeah, if you had the patience to go sit out there, no doubt.
Yeah.
You know, before we move on, speaking of the landscape here and the peacefulness and the beauty, which is particularly nice now because of pretty timely rains.
Yeah, we've had beautiful rain showers.
Lots of blooming out here. But a friend of mine, D.W. Grothy.
Okay.
Do you know D.W.?
He's a poet or an author?
Well, he's a singer.
Singer.
And a songwriter.
Yes.
He's been at the Cowboy Poetry Gathering. That's another one of my connections out here. Bill Lohman's Poetry Gathering. I've been out here, I don't know, probably 20 times. Doing radio work, you know, interviews, recording performances, putting them to a program and airing them on Prairie Public. But D.W. wrote a song about this landscape we see right behind us, and I'm just going to sing a little verse of it. As the sun begins to rise over blue Dakota skies, and the breeze starts to blowin' in the valley below, from these hills I look around, I know I'm not alone. She calls me my wild prairie home.
Oh man, I didn't see that coming. Thank
Isn't that
you.
nice?
Oh, it's wonderful.
That's
Thanks for sharing that.
A little example of some of the fine work out there.
Going back to your radio program now, you know, it's we came to the realization at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, and there's a statement that's been made here on Dakota Cowboy that no interviews exist of any of the six-pack. However, you told me a story that you interviewed Alvin Nelson.
Yeah.
First of all, do you have a copy of that somewhere?
I might. I got a lot of old
We would love
tapes.
to hear it.
But in those days, it's all on cassette tape.
We can digitize.
Oh, you can digitize it,
yeah.
But I've got boxes of stuff, and I made several of them into programs that still might be archived at Prairie Public, so we'll take a look.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
now,
Alvin Nelson.
Yes,
story. Yeah.
Tell me about that. That was at the 50th anniversary of the Champions Ride Saddle Bronc match at Home on the Range. You're talking to Alvin Nelson, who was the very first champion.
Of the Champions Ride. And see, that was one of my nice things about Prairie Public. If I wanted to go out and do a program on the Champions Ride at Home on the Range, I could do that. You know, they'd let me go out, and I did a lot of traveling around for that. And so then we're in the Champions Ride. We also do a little bit, not a little bit, a big part of the story is the Home on the Range and the services they provide and the great history and how many young people's lives have been changed. Just the other day, while we were in here in Medora, we were in the Cowboy Cafe having breakfast, and a lady came up and she took a picture of the Home on the Range, and I can't remember how to pronounce the Father William
Fawnlander.
Father Fawnlander. And she took a picture of it, and I was curious. I'm always asking people, you know, I'm always going, well, what are you taking that picture for? You know, why are you interested in that? She said, I lived there as a child. She used the word ward, but she was there. She was one of the kids raised by all the great folks at Home on the Range, and she said, she was happy. She said, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be the person I am today without having spent time at Home on the Range.
I just got chills. I just got chills because we interviewed the executive director at Home on the Range recently, my co-host Tisa and I, and we're getting feedback like that, just like that. And boy, I tell you, what they do there is miraculous.
Yeah, and the Saddle Bronc Ride, which spurred that story. We go down these different trails every once in a while. You'll notice that. I'm sure you've never done that on any of these shows before. But so as part of that, I did go out here to Sentinel Butte and do some interviews on the Champions Ride, and of course was interviewing Alvin Nelson, who, as you mentioned earlier, probably about 10 minutes ago now, was the very first champion of the Champions Ride, which is, I like it because it's just saddle broncs, which is the premier event in most people's eyes. There's the bull riding and everything, you know, which is popular these days. But, you know, saddle bronc riders, these guys were the rock stars in the 50s when they were traveling around the country. But I asked Alvin, and I had my radio, you know, mic out here. I go, Alvin, you know, what's it going to take for one of these young cowboys to win this Champions Ride today? And he goes, well, ride them all and ride them good.
That's cowboy logic.
Yeah, parenthesized, you know, ha ha ha. Ride them all, ride them good, with a little chuckle on either end. I mean, you know, what a great attitude. So I got to meet a lot of those old guys.
Yeah, they're wonderful, wonderful. I've got stories about Jim and Tom and Alvin.
No doubt.
Yeah. You know, as soon as we started this interview, Merrill, I realized that it was an interview that was going to be self-propelled. It was going to take care of itself. So I'm going to turn it on you. What do you want to talk about? In relative to the Badlands, the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, the Radio All-Stars, what would you like to share with our viewers today?
I think a lot of people do know me because of, well, a couple of things. my work with Prairie Public Radio on every day. It's amazing. We just had a little baptism for our granddaughter recently here in Medora, Sunday morning at the little church. And, you know, half the people in the congregation listen to me, and they know me because of my work with Prairie Public, which is very encouraging to know there are that many public radio listeners out here in the Badlands in western North Dakota. But also, I'm a participant in our statewide broadcast of our Messiah Lutheran Church telecast, which has been on the air since 1957. So I'll do some liturgy on there, and a lot of times I'll maybe do a song 5 or 6 times a year. And so we have a lot of viewers on that too. People, they might go to church at 8:30, go home and watch our service at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. And so a lot of people know me from that as well.
Did you have an opportunity to speak at this baptism? Did they hear your voice?
I did not today, but just 2 weeks ago when I was out here for the poetry gathering, 3 weeks for the poetry gathering, I went over and sang a couple songs there too. So
the baptism, we as broadcasters know when to stay in our lane. And
but it was my granddaughter.
It's not about us. Yes.
My granddaughter put on the little show for him there as part of the thing. But so there, so there's that my Prairie Public work and my work with our worship telecast, and then our band, the Radio Stars band, and my hometown is Stanley. So that's what kind of started that. I think it was in 2009. We did a little tour. We did John Hansen's logging camp ranch, and we came up to Medora for a show. We went out to Ole's Buffalo Gap out there. We went up to Stanley, and we did a little circle tour, is what I think is it Jenny who owns Custer's Cottage down here? Yeah, she called it the circle tour. She's the first one. Oh, kind of a circle tour you got here, huh? Yeah. So we've had a circle tour of the West ever since, at least one. And this year, we've got 2. We go to Hazen and Williston and Watford City and Killdeer and Stanley. And on the way back, we'll go to Maddock and Bismarck and throw them all together. And so we get to play a lot. And it's kind of folky stuff, but we do a lot of good Western stuff, too. Not some cowboy tunes, like up in the morning at the break of day, you'll hear a big-bearded cowboy at the truck wagon say, and on and on and on. But I mean, why do I like to do that? It's fun for me, and people
it's
like
who
to hear
you are.
Well,
Dan Rather always asks, I know you're a musician, I know you're a broadcaster, but who are you? And I can tell who you are just by you wear it on your sleeve.
Well, don't tell the folks out east this, but out here I tell folks, my feet are mired in the clay of the Red River Valley, but my heart soars free in the West.
This has been fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll get together again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to challenge you to let's do one of these a season, spring, summer, fall, and winter. Here we are, just in the final days of spring. Summer's going to be here on Wednesday. And
fine with me.
Is there any other things that you would like to share with our viewers at this time? I know there's a lot, but one final thought, Merrill.
Well, it's just that I look forward to it. I'm always cooking up ideas. Like I said, that's what we do. We're really media entrepreneurs, musical entrepreneurs, which doesn't make you a lot of money. It might someday, but I'll try to cook up a project for us to work on together.
Sounds great. I look forward to that.
For me, it takes work to get immersed into a subject or in for example, this lifestyle, because I'm not coming out here just a vacation for 2 weeks or a month every summer, I'll tell you that. So I have to kind of figure out something to do while I'm here. It could be music, could be radio, could be television. We've done a couple of good documentary films, including working with the 3 affiliated tribes up there. So we're just always moving forward, always staying engaged, and I hope that we can work together sometime in the future. You're doing a great job, by the way. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I tell our guests this, that our interview today, Merrill, it was like skipping a rock across the river. We didn't sink down deep enough. Next time we will throw the rock in the river, let it sink, and we'll just go from there. So this isn't the first time that we're going to do this. I look forward to the future with you. I thank you for your work with the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame and the people of North Dakota on Prairie Public Radio. Thank you so much, Merrill.
Thanks. And in North Dakota fashion, this is our second goodbye. We might have to have one more before we have at least 3 goodbyes. Thanks, Bill.
Sounds great. He's a good one. Thank you for doing this. It's Merrill Pepcorn with Prairie Public Radio here on Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
Base Flug Trailers of Dickinson is a family-owned dealer with expert staff that know their products front to back. We stock over 150 units of all types and can custom order a trailer with the unique features and capabilities you require for brands you can trust. Our experienced service team is the reason we're also the best place to have your trailer customized or repaired. Count on Base Flug Trailers of Dickinson to keep you hauling.
Welcome to the start of Main Street, the main medical building located at 315 Main, downtown Minot. The unique shops inside offer body and mind healing, a safe haven for mothers-to-be, mixed martial arts, hair salons, massages, counseling services, and much more. Also keep a special lookout for a brand new Jamaican-inspired restaurant opening this fall. Take a stroll inside the main medical building and uncover the unique shops and experiences that lay within. Discover the start of Main Street at the main medical building today.
Hi, Rich from Law Motors. 45 years ago, Dad started selling cars. 35 years ago, I started selling cars. And 15 years ago, Tyler started selling cars.
And I'm Mom, and I told all of them, just be nice.
Whether you have guns, ammo, vehicles, toys, or collectibles, consign with Last Chance Auction and we can help put money in your pocket. Give us a call at 334-SOLD or visit lastchancesd.com for upcoming auctions.
Man has worked in sync with Mother Nature since the beginning of time. Relying on her to provide sufficient moisture every growing season is a roll of the dice. You can now insure your pastures and rangelands with Rainfall Index policy available from Chamley Financial. This will give you the peace of mind by knowing you will be protected from the adverse effects of Mother Nature. Contact Chamley Financial today, 719-338-3428, or go to chamleyfinancial.com.
JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision has built a reputation as one of the most reputable and reliable body shops in this region. With nearly 30 years in business, customers count on JR's to get it done right the first time. They'll work with your insurance company to smoothen the process. From their 40-foot frame straightening machine, Sickens paint, and the latest technology in the repair industry, they're the only name you need to know. For auto, semi, RV, and trailer repair, it's JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision, North Dickinson. Call 701-483-6778. JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision. For more than 70 years, farmers and ranchers have relied on Dickinson Ready Mix for all their concrete needs. Whether it's a shop building for machinery storage or paved feedlots for your livestock, grain bins for on-site grain storage, or precast pads for automatic cattle waterers, Dickinson Ready Mix has been there to provide quality concrete for all your agricultural structures and infrastructure. For your next project, call Dickinson Ready Mix to discuss the benefits that concrete can add to your operation.
Hey, we're looking for ideas for our next commercial. Thoughts?
We have a fully stocked lot. Cars, trucks, SUVs.
Clearly.
We strive for honesty, transparency, and a better buying experience.
Of course we do. Guys, think, everybody's busy. Nobody has time to spend hours shopping for a car. Has to be simple, easy.
Sales, service, simplified.
Perfect. Torgerson Auto Center, East Bismarck Expressway. Sales, service, simplified.
Thank you so much for watching Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. I appreciate you watching so much that if I ever see you in Medora, I'm going to buy you an ice cream cone. Then I'm going to talk you into coming here to the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. We're in the Hall of Honorees today for this segment, which is the Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week. And this segment is brought to you by our friends at Torgerson Auto Center on East Bismarck Expressway in Bismarck. If you're looking for a car, light or heavy-duty truck, SUV, minivan, you name it, they got it. And they got good deals on them all at Torgerson Auto Center on East Bismarck Expressway in Bismarck. Our Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week this week, it was just inducted like a couple of weeks ago, and it has been so fun getting to know this group, the Lansford Ghost Riders. They are our inductee for 2023 in the category of Special Achievement, and like us, take great pleasure in getting to know them.
The Lansford Ghost Riders, organized in the early 1950s, was a group of young men and women ranging from 6 to 18 years of age. Jack Seidner, a young rancher, farmer, and horseman, came up with the idea of a horse club with student riders from the Lansford area. Jack had served in the Marines as a second lieutenant during World War II. and thought young people could perform the same marching drills and routines as the Marine Corps drill squad performed, but on horseback. He enlisted 20 young riders, and they practiced until they learned the routines. Most of the group lived on farms and would ride their horses to Lansford for practice. Once ready, they wore white shirts with black fringe, white pants, and black hats. Many mothers assisted in sewing on the fringe. The Ghost Riders were led by Jack and his beautiful Palomino stallion, Laredo. The Polish group performed their skills at various venues around northwest North Dakota. They debuted in Lansford for a Gala Day celebration and went on to perform for numerous events in the area, including the Sherwood Jubilee, Max Bass 50th Anniversary, Bottineau County Fair, Minot State and Ward County Fairs, at the inaugural North Dakota Championship Rodeo held in Minot in 1955 for the Wise Men, and other venues. The troupe was featured in Horse Lovers magazine in 1954. The Ghost Riders went on to host horse shows annually in the Lansford area. The highlight of their time in the saddle came when Walt Disney Studios visited Lansford to film the group for a segment on the Walt Disney television show. As a sign of goodwill and friendship, some of the older members went over to Powers Lake to search for 4-year-old Laverne Engett. Laverne went missing from his parents' farm, and the Ghost Riders searched for 5 days, horseback, for the youngster. The Ghost Riders were very proud of their accomplishments over the years, and they brought zest and vigor to this tiny community in Bottineau County. These young boys and girls loved being part of something bigger than themselves, and the riders, still living today, beam with pride when the Lansford Ghost Riders are mentioned. Ladies and gentlemen, in the Special Achievement category, would you please welcome, on behalf of Jack Seidner and the Lansford Ghost Riders, Mike Seidner.
Well, I think you just heard the whole story. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting us here today, and thank you for inducting us to the Hall of Fame. Many thanks to all the trustees and the board members for getting us to this point. Some of you may wonder how this all started. Well, about a year and a half ago, my wife Marie and I were having a cocktail in a little pub in Lansford, and we're sitting with a couple people you know, Barb and Marv Semra. I know it's hard to believe that Marv and I were drinking, but we were. And Barb was telling us about her father, George Christensen, who had been a mayor of Minot and also a veterinarian. He's in the Hall of Fame. And her brother's in the Hall of Fame, her brother Paul. And they asked me if I'd ever ridden a horse. I said, oh yeah. When I was 6 years old, I rode for the Lansford Ghost Riders. They said, what? I said, I rode for the Lansford Ghost Riders. And they looked at each other in wonderment and said, what is this? Well, as most of you know, the Seidner family, we don't tell very many short stories. My brother Steve and my sister Paula, they're all pretty long. I said, I can do this in a little bit. So 2 hours later, a few cocktails later, they listened to that story and said, we have to get you guys in the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Here we are. It was easy. They said, all you have to do is complete a couple of forms and you're in. So we did it. Another person I'd like to thank is Tisa Peak. Is Tisa here today? Okay. Tisa wrote an article for us, did a publication, a brochure that we sent out to all you trustees, and she did such a marvelous job on that publication. I think that's one of the reasons that we made it into the Hall of Fame. The Ghost Riders began over 70 years ago. My uncle Jack Seidner graduated from high school in the early 40s from St. Neil's High School in Minot. He joined the Marine Corps, as you heard, became a fighter pilot in World War II in the South Pacific. As he was leaving the Marines, he met this beautiful lady, Eileen. She was also a Marine, and he married her and brought her back to Lansford. And he farmed with my dad, and they ranched in a quite a large farm, actually, north of Lansford, North Dakota. Jack always had a great love for ranching and horses and thought the young kids in the area needed something to do, as you saw in the film, and started the Lansford Ghost Riders. They had about 20 to 30 kids that showed up, and some of these kids would ride round trip 15, 20 miles to town just to practice. So it was quite a program. And as you saw, we were on the Walt Disney Show and a few other things. Of course, you can read most of this history on the kiosk inside, so I won't go over a lot of it with you, but I want to introduce the Ghost Riders that are still living. There are about 10 living, and there's about 7 of us here. I'd like to start with Dale Sabacool. If you'd stand, Dale. Dale was a farmer, rancher, Lansford, North Dakota, and he now lives in Minot. And next on the list is Guy Phelan. Guy farmed and ranched near Antler, North Dakota. He told me he didn't ranch, but I think he probably did a little bit. He lives in Mesa, Arizona. Next on the list is John Sagsteen. John farmed in Lansford, and his father ran an implement dealership there for years, and also John ran a bowling alley in Bismarck. He now lives in Bismarck and in Tubac, Arizona. Next on the list is my brother Steve Seidner. Steve did a lot of work in getting us to this point. He wrote the initial story that we sent to Cecil Peak, and it was a great story. Steve taught school for 42 years in Karlsruhe, Max, and Minot. Finally, we have the Talley boys. Roland Talley. Raleigh is the one we call Crowbar. If you catch him a little later today, ask him how he got that nickname. It's a great story. And Crowbar taught school and worked in the oil fields and lives in Botno. His brother Dennis taught school for 30 years, Dennis Talley, in Newtown. And Dennis currently lives in Arizona. They also have a sister named Joan. She was the 8th child after 7 boys, and they just called her Girl. So, she's here somewhere, Joan. I would say that the Talley family made up the nucleus of the Ghost Riders. If it wasn't for the Talleys, there wouldn't have been a Ghost Riders. 7 boys all rode, and Joan was there to sew our outfits. So I'd like to have all the Talley relatives stand, if you would, please. I know there's a lot of you here. Would you stand for a second? I forgot one of the Ghost Riders. I didn't find out until yesterday that my cousin Candace was a Ghost Rider. She's here from Seattle, Washington. And her sister Tony is here also from Palm Desert, California. These were Jack's daughters. And my lovely wife is here, a wife of 54 years, Marie, who helped put all this together and organize it. Thank you, Marie. You can all sit down now. Another member that isn't here today is Carl Haugen. He lives in Lansford. He's having neck surgery this week, but he called me last week and he said, Mike, the Ghost Riders was the biggest part of my life growing up. Your Uncle Jack, we had so much respect for him. He was just unbelievable. And I think all the Ghost Riders felt that way. And he said, looking back in my early years, that's the thing I remember is the Ghost Riders. The community of Lansford was a huge supporter of the Ghost Riders, putting monetary money in the commercial club to keep us going. The counties of Botno and Renville were very helpful also. We have a couple postscripts here that I want to mention too. You notice Jack's daughters, Candy and Tony. The reason they're so beautiful, their mother was Mrs. North Dakota in 1954. So, another short story. My Uncle Jack finished his high school career in St. Leo's in Minot, and he stayed with the Fawnlanders. Most of you have heard of the Fawnlanders. Father Fawnlander was at Sentinel Butte at the Home on the Range for Boys for many, many years, and Jack actually stayed with that family while he went to high school. So there's a little connection there with the Hall of Fame. As you know, Father Fawnlander did the induction speeches for the Tesher boys and several others. With that, I'd like to say thank you to the trustees for inducting the Ghost Riders into the Hall of Fame. We appreciate that you recognize preserving history in North Dakota that would have otherwise been forgotten. And the Ghost Riders are hosting a picnic downtown at 4 o'clock this afternoon for anybody that would like to stop by. Again, thank you very much.
I told you it was great meeting Mike and all those people he introduced, all part of the Lansford Ghost Riders at the 2023 North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame induction ceremonies a few weeks back. Would you like to meet them? They are going to be part of the North Dakota State Fair Parade coming up in just a few weeks in Minot. They'll be loaded up in the gray North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Dodge pickup, waving at the crowd. The Lansford Ghost Riders, part of the State Fair Parade. By the way, the theme for this year's State Fair is Digging In to North Dakota history. That fell right into our lap because that's what we do here at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame each and every year. The Lansford Ghost Riders, your North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honorees Inductee of the Week, brought to you by Torgerson Auto Center. At the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, you know by now that we honor the champions of the past and we support the champions of the future. She's a champion now, and she's going to win many, many more titles. She is our Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week this week, Danielle Fladland. Our Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week calls Velva, North Dakota home. Danielle Fladland is part of the class of 2023 with fresh ink on her new diploma. Her parents are Dan and Ginger Fladland of Velva. We see a trend in Danielle's success as in 2020, she earned North Dakota High School Rodeo Association Rookie of the Year honors. Then in 2021, she claimed the NDHSRA Breakaway Roping Championship and was a national qualifier in team roping. She also earned NDRA Rookie Cowgirl and All-Around Cowgirl honors. 2022 found Danielle winning the Rough Rider Rodeo All-Around Cowgirl and Reserve Champion Breakaway Roping titles. Just this year, Danielle competed hard, and it paid off in earning the North Dakota High School Rodeo Association Reserve Champion Pole Bending title, Pass the Hat Foundation Scholarship Award, and Teskey Award. Velva, North Dakota is proud of their hometown cowgirl, and we are too. And we know she'll be adding more rodeo honors yet this summer. Danielle Fladland, the Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week. If you know somebody that you would like to nominate for the Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week, send their materials, which should include some pictures, some videos, and a biography. Send all that to dakotacowboy@becknews.com, and perhaps they'll be featured in a future episode. The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, come and see us. We are open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. here in historic Medora. We would love to see you. We have some great new displays this year, and we also have some wonderful items in our gift shop. So come on in and visit us when you're in Medora the next time. This is Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust, and we'll be back to wrap things up in just a moment.
Okay, we're looking for ideas for our next commercial. Thoughts?
We have a fully stocked lot. Cars, trucks, SUVs.
Clearly.
We strive for honesty, transparency, and a better buying experience.
Of course we do. Guys, think everybody's busy. Nobody has time to spend hours shopping for a car. Has to be simple, easy.
Sales, service, simplified.
Perfect. Torgerson Auto Center, East Bismarck Expressway. Sales, service, simplified.
Unique gifts, an assortment of beautiful jewelry, and much more can be found at Dakota Territory Jewelry and Gifts in Medora. Montana silver necklaces and earrings, Black Hills gold and sterling silver jewelry, many Native American made pieces too, and a selection of art pieces. They carry healthy products made right here in North Dakota, and to satisfy your sweet tooth, fall in love with the best fudge around and the freshest taffy made right in the store. Buy it by the pound in a variety of flavors. Dakota Territory Jewelry and Gifts in historic Medora. Wild Bill here for Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic of Dickinson. Recently, I tore my meniscus, and after an MRI, doctors gave me 3 options: prescription meds, reoccurring injections, or surgery, which wasn't guaranteed to rid me of the pain. Then someone suggested I try soft wave therapy. Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic of Dickinson are skilled in this innovative treatment. After a few treatments, my pain went from an 8 down to a 1. See if soft wave therapy is right for you. Contact Steffensen Sellinger Chiropractic today.
I'd like to personally invite you to Sentinel Butte the first Saturday in August for the annual Home on the Range Champions Ride. The best bronc riders are matched with the toughest broncs in this PRCA sanctioned mission-minded event. Come support the kids at Home on the Range. Be part of the tradition at North Dakota's longest running saddle bronc event. It's the annual Champions Ride saddle bronc match, the first Saturday in August at the Open A Angus Arena in Sentinel Butte. Get your tickets at hotrnd.com.
Medora Boot and Western Wear, open year-round in historic Medora. You'll find quality items for cowboys and cowgirls of all ages. Medora Boot and Western Wear has over 1,500 pair of boots on hand at all times. New this year, the R. Watson brand of boot, featuring an all-leather heel, riveted shank, and a 10-iron leather sole. Jeans, shirts, hats, caps, and more, and customer service is #1. Medora Boot and Western Wear in historic Medora.
Medora Boot western wear.
The 5th annual Ranch-A-Rama Rodeo Days comes to historic Medora August 11th and 12th. Main perps are at 6 p.m. both days with slack at 9 a.m. This NDRA-sanctioned rodeo will feature all your favorite events like bareback riding, breakaway roping, bull riding, and more. And as a special event, Women's Ranch Bronc Riding. This is a Kling Rodeo LLC signature event. Concessions and beer garden will be on site. No outside beverages allowed. The 5th annual Ranch-A-Rama Rodeo Days, August 11th and 12th in Medora, produced by the Ranch-A-Rama Arena Club.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I'm a 6th generation farmer, husband, patriot, father. And as much as I'd love to just sit here under this shade tree and celebrate my own place on my front porch, truth of the matter is that people don't know who, where, and how is producing their food. So travel the country with Trent on the loose, and we'll find those interesting human interest stories behind the people that bring us the efficient food supply. Trent on the loose.
Thank you, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, for presenting another episode of Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV. Coming up on our next program, we have Miranda Lambert's best friend. She's from Hebron, North Dakota, and her name is Gwen Sebastian. She is the darling of Hebron, North Dakota. She's living in Nashville and doing quite well. We will find out what she's up to on our next episode. Who knows where Tisa's going to be? I don't think her vehicle ever has a chance to cool off, and she's off to another rodeo, so we'll be looking forward to where we'll hear from Tisa coming up on our next program. I'm Wild Bill, and on behalf of Tisa Peak and all our guests today, thank you for watching Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. We will see you in the future, if not in the pasture. Adios!
We are rewriting Hollywood's script for our kids. I'm pop culture expert Tina Griffin, and as a former Hollywood actress, I'm giving you a behind-the-scenes look at how today's entertainment is eroding the foundational development of America's youth and how to safely navigate this pop culture chaos. Knowledge is power. Parents want solutions. It's time to get the power back in your hands and reclaim the right to decide who and what should influence your kids.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV. Now you can have the personalized forecast at your fingertips when you need it. Beck's exclusive Weather Insight is information tailored to you. Radar, weather alerts, forecasts, and videos. Download the free Weather on Beck News app. Search your app store now.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I'm a 6th generation farmer, husband, patriot, father. And as much as I'd love to just sit here under this shade tree and celebrate my own place on my front porch, truth of the matter is that people don't know who, where, and how is producing their food. So travel the country with Trent on the loose, and we'll find those interesting human interest stories behind the people that bring us the efficient food supply. Trent on the loose.
We're the ladies of Another View. Join us at 9 a.m. weekday mornings.
We'll discuss issues you care about from local and national perspectives.
You'll hear unique stories from fellow North Dakotans, plus topics in the national spotlight.
Start your day off right with Ladies of Another View.
Weekdays at 9 a.m. on Beck TV and online at beck.news.
It's time to get educated, people.
And that's just what we're doing on our new show, Educated. Every day we bring you the stories from inside the classroom that mainstream media won't cover.
So stay educated with us. Weekdays at 2:30 p.m. Central Time on Beck News or anytime online at beck.news.
Wow, it's so soft and smooth.
It's cool to the touch. How did you do that?
Well, we took MyPillow's patented fill and combined it with this new technology that we didn't have back then when I invented MyPillow to bring you the best pillow in history, MyPillow 2.0. Because of all of you, MyPillow 2.0 has been a huge success, and now we're bringing you our best-selling Go Anywhere MyPillows with the same temperature-regulating technology. Made with my patented adjustable fill and brand new cooling fabric, they're truly the next generation of MyPillow. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save over 60% on our MyPillow 2.0 4-pack special. You'll get 2 MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, regular $259.92, now only $99.98. King size just $10 more. This is a limited time offer, so please order now.
We're the ladies of Another View. Join us at 9 a.m. weekday mornings.
We'll discuss issues you care about from local and national perspectives.
Weekdays at 9 a.m. on Beck TV and online at beck.news.
Beck News is your leader in local. Beck specials and live information for you. Original programming. Exclusive local sports. Beck is local for you. Uncensored topics and uncensored opinions. Unapologetic politics, where all sides are represented. Full episodes online anytime at beck.news. All in one network. Your leader in local, Beck News.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. Travel the country with Trent on the loose, and we'll find those interesting human interest stories behind the people that bring us the efficient food supply. Trent on the loose.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree Dental Card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree Dental Card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree Dental Card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree Dental Card, you save $525. The Carefree Dental Card is just $15.95 a month, so call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-416-5739 to receive your Carefree Dental Card information kit. 1-800-416-5739. Call now.
Nick Bolton here with the latest from Bell & Howell. We call them tack glasses. Inspired by the sunglasses worn by our heroes in uniform, tack glasses block blinding glare so well, invisible objects suddenly become visible. Enhance colors to give you vision as sharp as an eagle's and survive even the harshest conditions. Look, ordinary sunglasses just make things darker, which could be deadly in a tactical situation. Tack glasses improve optical clarity so you can see clearly, even in low light. If you've never seen how this light filtering technology works, check this out. Nothing to see.